Everybody in Saluki Nation, so excited to see Jeremy Chinn compete in the NFC Title Game this weekend against the Philadelphia Eagles, and he joins us now to talk about what's been a magical season for the Commanders and a great season for him. Jeremy, it's so good to see you, brother. What are the
Yeah,
emotions like this week, getting to prepare for a shot to go to the Super Bowl?
man, it's great. Well, first of all, good to see you too, man. Always good anytime I can talk to a Saluki. But man, like you said, it's been magical. It's been special. So super exciting times. Around here for sure, and me personally.
How has your journey to this point, Jeremy, not even just within the course of this year, because as you know, playing this game, there's adversity in life, adversity in the game of football. Every year is going to throw different challenges, but how has your journey and your path prepared you to get you ready for what is coming in front of you here on Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, shoot, it's definitely been a journey. Me being in my fifth year now in the league. My first playoff run. So I mean, you never can take these things and these games and these times for granted, because I mean, you never know when or if you'll be back. So I mean, everything, all hands are on deck, and you really lay everything on the line every play, every week.
Every time, Jeremy, you make that step, whether it's high school to college, everyone talks about, man, the speed, the difference. Even in college, the difference of when you play non conference games to Valley football, which you're very familiar with. And then
Yeah,
you get, of course, to the NFL. But then there are so many that have said, man, the difference between regular season and postseason play in the NFL. It's your
yeah.
first run going through it. How would you describe the differences in terms of the intensity and everything that goes into it now going through your first postseason?
Yeah, I think, a lot of it is there's only so many teams left, and there's nothing guaranteed. So like there's so much more of an emphasis on everything. Like even if it's like a small thing in communication, like you just want to over communicate. You want to make sure everybody's on the same page because I mean, like I said, man, everything matters. Like there's nothing you kind of want to look back on and just like, man, if I would have communicated that a little bit better, if I would have brought an extra step here on this tackle or whatever. Like so, I mean, everything is just emphasized so much more.
Last time we saw you, you were talking to the team here in Carbondale almost a year ago at this time. A little
Yeah.
bit more, it was last February. So much has transpired within that time for you, Jeremy. What has been about the move to Washington this year, outside of just the success? The success, of course, is enjoyable. But what about being a commander, being in that organization have you enjoyed the most?
Yeah. I mean, initially when I first got here, it was the people. I mean, the people around here, um, just the energy, my teammates, the coaches, the people, leading this organization. I mean, we're just surrounded by terrific people and people that know it's gonna be a tough road. There's know it's gonna be challenges, know it's gonna be a lot of hard work, but when you're putting in that hard work with good people, it makes it all worth it and it all makes sense.
You played for a guy in college that I think many would say is a player's coach in Nick Hill. How would you
So
describe Coach Quinn from an outside and those who have just seen him throughout his NFL career? And of course, watching your team this year, you guys love playing for him. How
yeah.
similar is he? I'm sure there's some differences too, but how would you describe Coach Quinn in terms of the guy that you play for?
Yeah, I mean, Coach Quinn is great. I mean, everything that he does, like he has the players in at first in mind. So, I mean, there's nothing that we have to worry about on the outside. All we have to worry about is just getting ourselves ready to go on Sundays, and he makes that so simple for us. We don't have to think about a schedule because we know he's going to take care of us. We don't have to worry about a certain day or anything, and that's something that we noticed back in training camp. And just the trust that he had in us early on in training camp to show up and put the work in. And as long as we continue to do that, like he'll take care of us as far as everything else.
Everyone likes to use the word pressure, Jeremy, and pressure, I think everyone understands what that really is and where it comes from. There will be, of course, ultimate pressure in the game come Sunday, but whether it's when you get to your level, of course, there's always contract years, et cetera. There's so many other outside pressures that can come to it. How have you done so well where the pressure's at its most for you? How has that helped you? What do you credit that's gotten you through those high pressure situations this year and what you hope will carry you through here on Sunday in your biggest game?
Yeah, I mean, the way I look at it, I mean, pressure is a privilege. I mean, anytime you're in a situation where it's like, oh, there's high pressure, I mean, it just means there's a lot of opportunity in front of you. And you're probably in a really good situation that you've prayed in being in. So I mean, at this time, like I've always wanted to play in these type of games. I always wanted to one play in the NFL, but also play for something and play for an NFC championship and play for a Super Bowl and those things. But I mean, to be able to say that there's pressure is definitely a privilege.
You deserve the credit, Jeremy, because it ultimately does come down to your execution, the work you put in. But when you look at the structure of the defense and how you've been utilized this year, we're one, take credit for your play, but what have you loved most just about the scheme, the defensive philosophy in Washington that has really set you up for success?
Yeah, I know one thing when I signed here and I decided to come here and play for Coach Quinn and Joe Witt and be a part of Adam Peters' team. We just talked about the utilization, how, it was going to be used to my skill set and how, I would fit in this defense. And I think everything really just aligned. And, as the season has gone on, I kind of felt more comfortable and more comfortable as, as games went on and I got more reps and everything. So, man, I think it's just, I mean, it fits like a glove, man. It's been so perfect for me and this organization. And, I really just appreciate the opportunity that I've had, being able to come here. And, I'm just trying to make the most of it.
You focus so much on your side of the ball, Jeremy, as you should, but how quickly did it take you to realize that this Jaden Daniels dude is pretty good? And I think he's
Not
going to make
long.
the transition.
It didn't take long. It didn't take long at all, man. Nah, I think me and then a lot of the guys around the building on the defensive side of the ball as well saw that as early as mini camp back in June. So I mean, and he's exceeded every expectation that he could possibly have on himself, and he's a heck of a football player and person.
You've talked about pressure being a privilege, Jeremy. How is this team, in referencing the Commanders this year, you're kind of the talk of the NFL to start the year. Don't want to say you hit a little bit of a rut, but a losing skid comes, you bounce back. And now here you are, just one game away from the Super Bowl. What's been the commonality? What's been that common thread that's kept you guys together?
I just think, I mean, I mean, this team is so close knit. It really is like a family. And we have these situations where it comes down to winning time, and it comes down to a certain play or a certain time in the game where somebody has to step up, somebody has to make a play, offensively or defensively, and it happens. And we prepare for those moments. We talk about those moments. We manifest good things happening in those moments, and it happens.
You are a proud Saluki, Jeremy, and you represent SIU in such a proud way and in a big way with your play and everything else. This is kind of a loaded question, and I get it, but I need to ask it to you in this way. There's only been one Saluki ever that's played in a Super Bowl, and that's Brandon Jacobs. What would it mean to you to join him and be the second player ever to have worn the Saluki maroon and have a chance to compete for what is the ultimate prize in this sport, which is a Super Bowl?
Yeah, it would mean everything. It'd be huge. It'd be great. I mean, that's the goal. That's always been the goal. So, like you said, the privilege is right in front of us to go make that happen. The opportunity is right in front.
The uniqueness is, Jeremy, whoever's in your way, you would be really looking forward to the opportunity. The fact that it's one of your all-time rivals in the Philadelphia Eagles,
Yeah.
and you balance the challenges of, look, I think at this point in time, everybody knows everybody so well, but to know that to get to where you ultimately all want to go, which is the goal, to know that one of your rivals is in your way, how much more does that just add to the anticipation for this opportunity come Sunday?
Yeah, man. I love it. I mean, you wouldn't want to draw it up any other way.
No question about it. Jimmy, I'll get you out of here on this point. I know this past year for Southern, they went through speaking of adversity, they went through a ton of adversity in their football season. Michael Lindauer, who started the year as a GA and a coach, ultimately had to come back to play because of so many injuries at quarterback and injuries throughout the team. As we've talked about, your path, man, you've been through a lot of adversity yourself, whether it's in the NFL, whether your time here at SIU. For Saluki players that are in the weight room right now, they're going through their winter conditioning. What's the biggest thing you say to them of when you have a year where there's disappointment, what you do to attack it immediately? You don't just wait till spring ball, like what you do here on January 24th moving forward to make Saluki football better and put what was a frustrating year behind you.
Yeah. Man, I would just say continue to put the work in and just keep going. continue to put the work in to see what you want to see when it's all said and done. To accomplish what you want to accomplish. I know last year it wasn't the year that I wanted personally or the year that the team I was on wanted. Um, and there easily could have been frustration. There was frustration. There was anger. A lot of things. But one thing that stayed consistent was just I'm going to keep working. I'm going to continue to not only show up to work, but put in the work every single day and be the same person every single day, regardless of whatever circumstance that I'm going through or this team is going through. So continue to put the work in and it'll pay off whether it be right when you want it to or it be later down the road. But at some point you're gonna look back when everything is going how you want it to go. And you're gonna look back at the work that you put in when things weren't going well and you're gonna appreciate that and you're gonna thank yourself for it.
The other thing that's been consistent is we still see that Jeremy Chinn smile from afar, and we hope we see a big Jeremy Chinn
Yeah,
smile on Sunday after the game with the
for
Eagles.
sure.
Jeremy, it's great to see you. Great to catch up with you. All of us at Saluki Nation are going to be pulling for you on Sunday, brother. Thanks so much for the time.
Thanks, Luke. Appreciate you, man.